Welcome to Binge Breakthrough, the podcast designed to help you finally break through the barriers that keep you stuck feeling out of control around food. I'm Master Certified Coach Jane Pilger, and I want you to know that no matter how long you've been struggling or what you've tried, food freedom is possible, and I'm here to show you how. After years of therapy, eating disorders treatment, restrictive diets, and reading all the books, I was still stuck in the on-again, off-again cycle of restricting and binging until I was able to see it all from a new perspective that changed everything. Each week, I will share the strategies, tools, and mindset that allowed me to overcome my decades-long battle with binge eating. Your journey to body trust starts now. Let's dive in. Hello, trusted listener. Welcome to Binge Breakthrough. I consider you a trusted listener because I trust that you are listening to this podcast for a reason. I trust that you are going to hear something today that is insightful and impactful on your journey with food. And today, specifically, your journey in life. Because today we are going to talk about confidence. Now, so many people think that when they have the confidence, then they will be able to do something. They think that confidence comes first. So specifically around food, this might sound something like, if I knew I could just not eat when I have an urge or when I have a craving or a desire to eat something that I know is not a physical hunger, more of that emotional, more I'm trying to disconnect with food in some way. If I knew I just could not do that, then I would be confident. But I haven't been able to do it so far, or not for any extended period of time, so I don't have any confidence that I can do it now. Or if we're talking about maybe this could show up with your lack of confidence around food or around your body. I just need confidence. If I was confident, if I was more confident in myself, if I was more confident in my ability to make different choices around food, then I would be able to go to a party. Or people think that confidence is a byproduct of something else. This sounds like if I could just lose weight, then I would be confident. If I lost weight, then I would be confident enough to wear a bathing suit to the pool or at the beach. If I lost weight, then I would be confident enough to go to a party with other people. I wouldn't be worried about what other people might think of me. But confidence doesn't work this way. And how do we know? Because there are so many people out there who lose weight and they still are not confident in themselves. There are lots of people who lose weight who still will not put on a bathing suit, who will not go to the beach, who will not go to the party. A body weight, a specific size, does not create confidence. And we know this because we have all seen people in very small bodies who don't have a lot of confidence, and also people in larger bodies who have a lot of confidence. Your weight and your size do not create that, as much as society would love to tell you otherwise. Here is the other truth. None of us know what is going on in anybody's mind. So often people look at somebody with a quote unquote ideal body, ideal according to whatever today's standards are, which by the way, change vastly from decade to decade, or even more often than that. So we look at somebody with some body that somebody has determined is ideal, and we think, if only I had that, then I would be confident. If only I had that job, if only I had that house, if only I had that relationship, if only I had that friendship, then I would be confident. But here's the truth. None of us know what is going on in the minds of any of these people. The size of their body, the relationship they have, the job they have, the house they have, do not create the confidence. If you think terrible things about your body in one size, chances are that you will continue to think terrible things about it in any size. Now, what you think about it might shift, but it will likely never be good enough. Now, chances are you are listening to this podcast, you have probably been in many different sized bodies because you are a human in this world. We have all humans have been in bodies of many sizes throughout our lives. That's kind of the way that life works. So think about for yourself, what have my thoughts been about my body over the years? Think about it over the different sizes it's been. Even if I was in a smaller body, when I was in a smaller body, what were my thoughts about it then? For me, I have been in many different sizes of bodies. And even when I was technically in an underweight status, I still did not see in the mirror that I was underweight. I still was looking for all of the things that I thought were not good enough, that needed to be fixed and that were wrong. The size doesn't create the confidence. If you're not confident about your own relationship with food, when to eat, what to eat, or how much to eat, that won't change as long as you're looking to external sources to tell you what to do. This is why so much of my work is about connecting with yourself, connecting inside. What is your body telling you? Not what does somebody else think? What has somebody else told you to eat or not to eat? Your body has so much wisdom. But we've been separating ourselves from that for so long, thinking, oh, I'll be confident in my food choices when XYZ happens. So what is that XYZ for you? I'll be confident around food when? You fill in that blank for yourself. What is it that you've been telling yourself will create your confidence around food? What is it that you've been telling yourself will create your confidence around your body? I'll be confident in my body when? What is that fill in the blank? It's important for you to know for yourself, because it is likely, because you have a human brain, that you are thinking that a change in your circumstance will create confidence. But that's not where confidence comes from. So where does confidence come from? You might be asking, since you've just told me lots of the places that it doesn't come from. Where does it come from? I want to tell you about one of the concepts about confidence that resonated so deeply with me when I first learned this years ago. And I still repeat this. It has literally become a mantra for me. And this is a concept about how to create confidence. It comes from Dan Sullivan. These are called what he calls the 4 C's to confidence. So he says, here's where confidence comes from. These are the 4 C's. I'm going to tell you the 4 C's to begin with. Then we're going to kind of walk through each one. I'm going to give you a story how I have applied this in my own life. And then we are going to we're going to work together so that you can apply this to yourself, specifically around food and around your relationship with yourself. All right. So the 4 C's, Dan Sullivan's 4 C's to confidence. They are commitment, courage, capability, and confidence. So what does this mean? We have to start with commitment. We don't start with confidence. Confidence comes last. We start with commitment. We commit to something. If we want to gain the confidence around something that we haven't done before, we first have to commit to that thing. So it starts with commitment. We make a commitment. The next C is courage. We have to have the courage to follow through on that commitment. It's not going to be easy. Our brain, remember the brain that wants to seek pleasure, avoid pain, and use as little energy as possible. If we're committing to doing something new, it's going to take energy. There might be a little bit of pain and a little bit of doubt and uncertainty involved. So it will take courage for us to honor that commitment. When we apply the courage and we honor our commitment, it is through that process that we gain the capability. We learn through applying courage to our commitment. We gain the capability to do something. And it is in doing that repeatedly over and over again that we create the confidence. So those are the 4 C's. Now I want to tell you a little bit about when I first learned about this. I was in the process of developing confidence for myself on my bike. So I had one pretty bad bike accident back in 2019. And I can share the story another time, but essentially my husband and I were going down a hill and literally a cow crossed the road in front of us. My husband saw it. He yelled out, "Cow." I did not hear him. I did not see the cow. I saw that he was braking. I went to brake. He did not hit the cow. I want you to know the cow was okay. But I hit his rear wheel and I went down and I fractured my pelvis. And there was a very long road to recovery. And my brain also saw this as a pretty traumatic event and something that was very scary. So there are times still on the bike where I have some fear. And particularly if I'm going particularly fast, if I'm going downhill, I have fear on the bike. It makes sense. I also want to increase my confidence on the bicycle. Now, me not getting on my bike or just riding really slowly when I go downhill is not going to increase my confidence. It just won't. So what do I need to do? Commitment. So as I kind of learned about these 4 C's, and were areas I'm working on increasing my confidence, specifically on the bike and going downhill, going fast downhill I have a triathlon bike, which means I have these aero bar extensions. And so I can be down low in an aero position. You go even faster that way in your aero bars. But what that means is I'm not on the brakes. I'm down on my aero bars. I don't have access to my brakes. So I had a hill that I would go down and I was like, okay, here's my commitment. My commitment is I'm going to go down this hill and stay in my aero bars. Now I would start going down. Guess what? It took courage for me to not get up. I wanted to get up off the aero bars. I wanted to get on what's called the hoods of the bike where I was close to my brakes. It felt safer to me to be able to be close to my brakes. Now, the truth is, it's not exactly safer. There's a lot of reasons why. And I really knew that me being scared and being tense on the bike actually created more danger for myself than staying in the aero bars and staying relaxed. So I would be going down the hill and I would literally repeat to myself over and over again, commitment, courage, capability, confidence, commitment, courage, capability, confidence. I would be going down the hill and it took courage for me. Now, the very first time I went down that hill, I did not make it all the way down the hill without getting up on the hoods close to my brakes. I didn't, but I was committed and I made it a little bit further each time until one time I made it all the way down the hill without getting out of my aero bars and without getting even close to my brakes. And I was so proud of myself. And repeating this over and over again is how I am creating confidence on the bike. And so now I'm at this place where I have so much more confidence than I did before. And there are still times where, let's say it's particularly windy or something else happens. My confidence isn't as strong in those scenarios. But when I see myself and I'm not having as much confidence, I just remind myself commitment, courage, capability, confidence. The way that I gain more confidence in the wind is by going out in the wind, committing to riding when it's really windy outside. And that takes courage. When I first started riding my bike, I would not go outside if it was windy. I would look outside. I would look and see if the leaves were rustling around. And if it was windy, nope, not going out. Which is fine. I can totally make that decision, but that is not going to increase my confidence riding my bike outside. So how does this apply to you? Are you trying? Is there something where you don't have confidence around food? And are you trying to basically just stay inside? Kind of do what I used to do with the bike. I wanted to be able to ride outside. I wanted to be able to go if let's say there was a race and it was really windy. If I have never ridden outside in the wind, it's going to be really challenging for me on race day. But if I have this commitment to go outside and I apply courage, then I'm going to be more capable of riding in the wind. So where are you staying indoors, whether it's with food or with your body? Maybe you want to be confident and you want to go to the pool. You want to put on the bathing suit. You want to wear the sleeveless shirt or the shorts. It starts with commitment, committing to wear the thing, and then having the courage to do it. It will take courage. Your brain will not want you to go outside. It will not want you to do that. It's trying to keep you safe. But if you want confidence, that's how you create it. Through courage and by doing it multiple times and realizing, oh, you know what? Nobody's actually looking at me. That's how you increase the capability to go outside, to wear the thing, to be around foods you have not been comfortable being around before. That's how you create the confidence. So how are we going to apply this? Now, to start, you have to start with commitment. So what are you committed to? Let's talk about food. When you have an urge, when you have a craving, a desire to eat food in a way that you know is not physical hunger, you know you are trying to disconnect with food. Make a commitment. What will you do in that moment? Maybe you'll reach out to somebody. Maybe you'll commit to the pause. Check out the podcast episode about the power of the pause. Maybe you'll do something to regulate your nervous system. Check out the podcast episode about learning to work with your nervous system. Maybe you'll listen to a podcast episode. Commit right now. What are you going to do? What are you committed to when you have that urge, that craving, that desire? You have your commitment. Next comes courage. In that moment, when you really want to eat and do the thing you've always done, it will take courage to do something different. I know for me, repeating commitment, courage, capability, confidence helps so much. It's like, yes, it will take courage. And after courage comes the capability. Then comes the confidence. I don't get confidence first. It comes last. Here's another place you can apply this. After you eat in a way you wouldn't prefer, let's say you don't pause, you don't address your nervous system, you don't listen to a podcast episode, you just shut it all down and you eat until you're sick. What's the commitment then? What is your commitment for after you eat in a way that you wouldn't prefer? Maybe that commitment is to be kind to yourself, no matter what. Pro tip, this is the best thing you can do for your brain. It will take courage to not beat yourself up, especially if that has been your pattern for years or for decades. But if you do this repeatedly, you will create the capability to be kind to yourself after a binge, after you disconnect with food. And that will create the confidence that you know what to do. You know how to rally. You know how to bounce back. And if you haven't received the 5-step plan for what to do after a binge in these moments, this will walk you through being kinder to yourself, creating that ability to bounce back. So make sure you check that out. There's a link in the show notes. janepilger.com/after is how you can find that. But this is how confidence is created. Commitment, courage, capability, confidence. You can apply this to any area of your life. So where would you like to create more confidence for yourself? Whatever is coming to you right now in this moment, you can apply the 4 C's. It starts with commitment. The real action happens at courage, and then you create the capability. And after you've done that multiple times, you will have created the confidence in that area. Think about anything at all in your life that you are currently confident in right now. Just what comes to your mind? Oh yeah, I feel confident about fill in the blank. Did your confidence happen through the 4 C's? Or did you just start out confident? Or were you committed? Did you apply courage to follow through with your commitment? Did applying that courage multiple times create the capability, and that capability over time create the confidence that you have right now? I bet it did. But if it didn't, I would love to hear about your experience and what you think created your confidence. All right, that's what I have for you today. If this episode resonated with you and you found it helpful, please share it with a friend who is looking to create more confidence in any area of their life. And perhaps you guys can commit together. Here's what I want to create, where I want to create more confidence, and how I'm going to do it. Commitment, courage, capability, confidence. All right, I'll see you next week. Thank you for listening to Binge Breakthrough. You can find the show notes and any resources mentioned at bingebreakthrough.com. If you like this episode, subscribe to have future episodes delivered to you each Wednesday. And remember, your 5-star rating and review will help others discover these life-changing concepts. See you next week.